Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Hakkenden 8 Dogs of the East, Episode 6. And if you remember from last episode, we find out Ryo is actually the head priest of a special ward in the church. That's interesting. Now moving on past that, we are taken to a different scene with Shino, and he meets a new character, and her name is Ein. And Ein's actually a member of the 4th Beast Clan. That's kind of interesting, and she was chosen by the Snake God. I mean, wow, she's got silver hair. She's definitely beautiful. I love it, but her guardian, which is Hibiki, is very protective of her, and I just really don't understand that. Apparently, Ein's really weak, and she needs protection. And moving on to a different scene toward the end of the episode, we find out Hibiki, which again is Ein's guardian, is now friends with Shino. So it just got interesting, and again, that's where the episode ends, and I'll hold my final thought and rating at the end of the clip. So stay tuned. Let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Shino, and he's asking Ryo for money, but we don't know what for. But Ryo really doesn't care. He says, yeah, sure, here's the money. Like he's made out of like millions of dollars, right? It's crazy. But anyways, we also find out Shino wants to know about an accident that happened, because we do see a piece of newspaper that's out there with an accident that's inside of it, and Ryo goes on to explain a little more about this accident, or this incident that has occurred in like a far off distance, and he's being very vague with the information about the accident, so he can't really say that much other than it's about 5 people who trespassed on a mountain. I'm like, okay, and then they got infected, and about a week later they died. So that's definitely like out of the ordinary, but I mean, so what? That's all I can say. Now we are taken to a different scene. Now we're introduced to a new character. Now his name is Ashikino, or Asakano, depending on how you want to pronounce his name. Now we really don't know a lot about him, but he's traveling with women who are musicians, so that's kind of interesting. But again, that's where we open up with. Moving on to a different scene. So we're taken to a different scene with Ryo, and we're being thrown with a little information. Apparently Ryo's explaining to Shino, or everyone in general, that there's an old legend about a monkey deity, and this deity lives on the mountain. So like, okay, so what about this monkey deity? I mean, seriously, what's up? Apparently anyone that trespassed on his mountain usually does not return. It's like, I wonder what crawled up his ass and died, but we really don't know. But I thought that was kind of interesting. And I should also go on to explain that there are 5 people who trespassed. They actually did return home. So this is interesting because that little news article about the incident that happened with these people getting infected and dying a week later, they actually trespassed on this monkey's mountaintop. And he does go on to explain, well, these 5 people, they're the first to return without dying, but you know, they died a week later. And apparently they were given water by an unknown woman. So a woman helped them back to their village, but she gave them water, and then they became infected and they died. So that was definitely kind of interesting. However, moving on past that, we find out Shino is now on a train by himself. Huh. That's kind of interesting. Now we're taking to a different scene with Sasuke. Now he's been left behind, so Shino didn't take him with him, so I thought that was kind of funny. And Ryo's actually telling him about the incident or the accident that happened in a far off distance, and that's probably where Shino actually went to, so you may want to go for, Sasuke may want to go. Pretty much gives him the heads up. Yeah, Shino's on his way there, so you may want to catch up. It's not too late. So we're taking to a different scene with Shino, and he's actually in the mountains now. The one that these travelers, these 5 different travelers were actually at, where the monkey deity is actually supposedly harboring, like he's actually there. So I was like, okay. So anyway, sorry, I digress. So Shino is in the mountains, and his beads start glowing. Yeah, his bead and Sasuke's bead, they start glowing, and then he falls. Like a moron, he falls. I mean, he's only got Musaru with him, which is that little crow that can talk. That's all he's got is protection. So we're taking to a different scene with Asakino, which is that new character I just told you about. And Asakino's having a nightmare. I can't explain it. You see this guy on a horse with a katana. It looks like he's killing someone. And I guess this is Asakino's nightmare he's having, but he wakes up. And I should also point out there's a woman with him he's talking to, but we really don't know her identity. But I don't trust her. Nah. So we're taking to a different scene with Sasuke and Kei. Yeah, that's right, Kei. He's there, and he actually runs into Sasuke at the train station, ironically, and he actually tells Sasuke, "You're looking for Shino, right? Yeah, his train just left for the western region. You just missed him." It's like, yeah, how convenient was that? And guess what? Genpachi appears. Oh no, it gets better. Genpachi, he's wearing his military uniform, and all I can say is, wow. He looks more mature, more, I don't know, you take him more seriously because he's wearing a military outfit. I like it. And apparently both Genpachi and Kei will be going with Sasuke to find Shino. So they hop the train and they're off to the western region. Again, very convenient. So I definitely thought that was worth mentioning. However, we're taken to a different scene with Shino, and Shino has finally awakened after falling, and he notices his beads are missing. He only has his bead. He's missing Sasuke's bead. I'm like, oh, this can't be good. Now, in the distance, we see what appears to be the monkey deity. He appears out of nowhere, and at first I thought, is he going to attack Shino? And that's not the case. But he's not really talking. But I thought it was definitely worth mentioning. Apparently the monkey deity wants to help. And he gives, he gives Shino, looks like a gold stone. And Shino's like, nah, I can't use this. But no, thank you. I know, like, you're a big monkey. Yeah, you can't help me, but thank you. I was like, it's gold, you moron. It's gold. It's not a rock. I was like, I thought I'd mention that. It wasn't a rock, it was gold. Or at least it looked like gold. I was like, it may not be the bead, but who the hell cares? It's worth something. But we're taking to a different scene with Shino, yet again, and he's asking the monkey, this monkey deity, have you seen a woman? Because apparently when he was listening to Rio about like this incident that happened over the mountaintop, he noticed there was a woman. Now, about 5 years back, I believe it was either 5 or 2 years back, there's a woman that had something to do with his little disaster, so he thought maybe there was a connection. So that's why he's asking the monkey deity, do you know anything about this woman? Is she still alive? Is she around? And the monkey deity really doesn't have an answer. However, we're taken to a different scene with Sasuke, and he appears out of nowhere right in front of Shino, ironically. So I thought that was worth mentioning. And then the monkey deity just vanishes, like he's gone. No one else sees him except for Shino, and then he's gone. It's like, that's even more awkward. I was like, what? I thought you were there to help. But I again, just thought I'd mention that. Now, I should also point out they want to head to town. So we see both, Kei, Genpachi, Sasuke, and Shino. They're actually heading to town now. So they're heading to town, and they get arrested. Basically, because everyone thinks they're infected. Because that's the same village that had those 5 travelers that came back to their village that were infected. A week later, they died. So they figure they've got a festival coming up. Stay away from us. So they were arrested on the spot, and I thought it was funny. However, we're taken to a different scene, and we're introduced to a new character. Her name is Sakia, and Sakia is an amazing character in my opinion. I like her because she's all closed up, and she's like a miserable woman. I like it because she's got this whole, I don't know, it's like an aura around her that's like, I like her. She's so strict. Like that girl from Dead Man Wonderland, who's the warden. The same kind of characteristics, if you get my meaning. However, sorry, I digress. Now again, we open up with Sayaka, and Sayaka basically, she serves as both the doctor and the sister, which is like a nun, for this village. So I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. Now she is pointing out that you guys cannot leave because you guys may or may not be infected, so she's actually testing them. Now, she also points out she notices both Shino and Sasuke are part of the church. That's what she does notice. I'm like, yeah, and? So we are taken to a different scene, of course, and she points out to them that, again, they may have been infected since they were in the mountains, so she's cutting them off until they are cleared. However, we're introduced to a new character. His name is, I hope I pronounce his name right, it's called Sakuraba, and Sakuraba is Sayaka's boss. So he's the inspector, and apparently he knows Genpachi as well as Kei, but mostly Genpachi. Apparently, Sakuraba served in the military with Genpachi as like a doctor, like a new coming doctor, like he was just a brand new doctor, and he was a pervert, by the way. Oh, he is definitely gay. He's gay, trust me. God knows what he did when he was in the military, but they're scared of him. And it was just hilarious. But again, he served in the front lines with both Kei and Genpachi. Just thought I'd put that out there. Now we are taking to a different scene with Asakenu. Yeah, this guy is spying on both Shino and the rest of them as they're being treated and checked out for, well, not treated, but tests are being run on them if they have the disease or not. And I thought, it was like, well, why are you looking at them? Well, what's up, man? And it's just hilarious because, well, to me, I started laughing, like, why are you peeping? Why are you spying on him, man? What's up? But I just thought I'd put that out there. But he does notice Sasuke. He notices who Sasuke is. Like, I know you. However, we are taken to a different scene with Asakeno, and again, he knows who Sasuke is from his past. He knows the face, he knows the voice, so I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. I should point out, apparently 2 years ago, someone was murdered in Asakeno's village, and he believes it was Sasuke. He was the guy riding the horse with the katana, so it's kind of makes sense. This is why he's a little unease. You know, he's a little irritated, a little pissed off. So moving on past that, I should point out again, Asakino. Apparently, to him, Sasuke is the guy that killed one of his men. Well, killed someone from his village. So he's being very agitated. And again, I just thought I'd bring that up one more time because I'm very curious. I'm like, I don't know, what's happening? I don't understand. But we're taking to a different scene with the villagers. And apparently, the well, it's being pointed out, these villagers are basically saying the well at Hayarda's place is run dry. So a well has run dry locally, so it's kind of, they believe it's no time for a festival. I mean, the girls are here, they're dancing, there's music, but you know, their well's dried up, so they're running out of water, their rations are running low, so this festival, not much of a festival. So they're like, I don't think we should have it, but you know, it's still going regardless. So we're taking two different scenes with Shino and everyone else, and they passed inspection, they're not infected, so they're good to go. But they're being set up at the church to stay over for the next 3 days until the festival is actually over. So I mean, that kind of makes sense. So I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. But they can't leave. They can't see the villagers, you know. They can't make any interactions with them in case they are still infected. So they're going to wait the 3 days until the festival is finished. So that kind of makes sense. However, Shino wanders away with Musume after telling Sasuke about a few different things. So he wanders off even though he was told not to. So he wanders off, and I thought it was okay, so where's this going to go? And Musume just goes back into him, like goes back into Shino and hides. And guess what? Asakino appears out of nowhere because he's nosy. Because again, he notices who Sasuke is. He starts asking Shino all these questions. They chit chat, and then Kei shows up. So I'm like, okay, something's gonna go down. You know, something's gonna go down. What is Asakino gonna do? I can't wait to find out. However, I should also point out they have to remain at the church, so they can't really talk with anyone else. But we find out, yeah. Sasuke in general is being a neat freak. He's cleaning everything out. He's cleaning the whole church even though he doesn't have to. And Sayaka, she may work for the church, but she doesn't care about God. I was like, for a nun and a doctor, she's really does not give a damn. I'm like, what the hell? So I don't really know what her story is, but we are taking to a different scene with Sayaka, and we're thrown with a little information finally. I'm like, thank God, we get to know what the hell makes her tick. And she's actually talking to Sasuke while he's cleaning the church inside, even though he's being told not to because no one's ever going to show up apparently. Apparently she lived in this area for the last 3 years. Apparently her grandmother used to live here, and she used to live there before she died, so it's kind of meaningful to her. So I'm like, okay, that kind of explains why she's stuck in this area. And she did have family, technically her grandmother, so it's you know, and she's been here for 3 years, so she must know something. However, we are taking to a different scene past that. Apparently the only reason Sasuke and the rest came back from the mountain was that Shino, it's being pointed out by Sayaka, the only reason why you guys came back alive and you guys didn't die was because you had Shino with you. And apparently the monkey deity, he likes kids, he respects them. So because Shino was there, you guys were okay. I'm like, what? But Shino is an adult, trapped in a kid's body. Some deity, you moron. Just putting that out there. If that monkey deity didn't really know the difference, I mean, we noticed the difference, obviously. However, we are taken to a different scene toward the end of the episode. Now, apparently, we're taken to a little brief scene with Sasuke and Asakine. Yeah, so Asakine is actually here. I hope I pronounced his name right. I keep saying it wrong. But they're in the church, and Asakino, there you go, I said his name right. Asakino appears as Sasuke's cleaning the church, and it's just the two of them. And it looks like they were just doing a light, you know, chit-chat. And then Sasuke starts praying, you know, he's praying, and then Asakino shows up. And he pulls a sword on Sasuke, and that's where the episode ends. Okay, as for final thoughts, Sasuke versus Asakino, is it going to happen? I hope so, and I hope we get to find out more about Asakino's background. Why does he think Sasuke is the one? Maybe it's a misidentity, you know, maybe you have the wrong person. We don't really know. I mean, this took place 2 years ago, and technically 5 years ago is where the accident happened in the Osaka village with, you know, Shino and everyone else. So I'm wondering if Sasuke is aware of everything. I'm pretty sure he may be able to clarify what happened 2 years ago, if that was him or not. Just putting that out there. Moving on past that, what's up with this monkey deity? We have no idea what's going on, and I can't wait to find out if he's responsible for giving these people, you know, this sickness or not. I hope we find out soon. And moving on past that, the girl that's a musician that's friends with Asakino, Is she responsible for what happened to Shino 5 years ago? I hope we find out. Why is she so how she is? Why is she keeping stuff to herself? Why does she look like she did something wrong? She has that appearance like I'm about to do something or I did something wrong. She's too sly, it's too perfect. But again, that is it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, 3.5 out of 5. I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5 because it really went nowhere. There was no fight scenes. There was really no drama, technically. New information, new characters, yes. But final rating, 3.5 out of 5. And again, that ends it for my walkthrough review of Hakkenden, 8 Dogs of the East, Episode 6. Definitely comment down below. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe. Check me out on Twitter. And follow me if you like. But let me know what you think of this episode. And let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now. And I got to hit the bricks. I got to go. And before I go, I got to say it. And I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.